Oh yeah, one more quick note before we get started on the whiteboard. I really want all of you to be part of this, and I want you to be able to ask the questions that you have so that I can help you walk through this process as well. And I'm honestly really bad about answering people's questions on all the different various platforms. So this will probably be on YouTube and also on my blog. And so you might be able to leave a comment on YouTube or on the blog, and people leave comments in all different places, and some of them notify me to different emails, and it's just really confusing. I need to consolidate all that. But I want to tell you the best way for you to be able to be an active participant. I have a Facebook group. It's called the Bride Formula Insiders Only, and you can be part of that Facebook group. All you have to do is just sign up for my email list, and I'll get you an invitation to be part of that group, or you may be able to search for it on Facebook and ask for an invite. Right now, it's a very small group, and I'm answering every single question that people ask, and that may not be able to keep that up depending on what type of traffic I get into that group, but the idea is I want you to be able to stay in touch in the best way possible. So that's the best way. If you can get into my Facebook group, you can also leave comments here on YouTube or on the blog, and I will do my best to check them at least occasionally. But if I don't answer your question, it's not because I don't care. I absolutely want to answer every single question, but I can promise you, if you get into that Facebook group, I will be more receptive to and more responsive to answering questions. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's think about the very end goal with the whole experiment that I'm doing right now. The end goal is going to be to increase income. It's just plain and simple. You might have a different goal, but generally, if you're wanting to book more weddings, you're wanting to increase your income. So let's go ahead and write that down. We're going to start from the end and work our way back. So, number one, we want to increase income. So I'm really just going to be talking about how I do things. You may do things differently, and I hope that you can figure out how to adapt to the way that you do things, but this is how I do it. So, for me, money is going to come from people booking their wedding. So, I'll go ahead and write booking. Okay. People are going to book me at a consultation. Sometimes I'll do it online, but most of the time for a wedding, people are going to see me in person. So we're going to write consult. Doesn't really matter how you do that. That's up to you. We may talk about that more in the future on Bride Formula, but for right now, just the idea is, in some form, you have to have a one-on-one conversation with the person making the decision whether or not to book you. That's the consult. Okay? For me, the thing that comes right before the consult is, let's see, it's going to be, we'll just say inquiry. I don't even know how to spell inquiry. Inquiry? I don't know. If it's not spelled right, whatever. And from right before the inquiry is going to be the contact form. We could probably keep going back a little bit, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to present the contact form yet in this experiment. Right now, we could go another step back and say you have to get to the contact page on my website, and then go another step back and say you have to get to my website, and then say another step back, you have to click a link to get to my website, which might go another step back and say the link was posted on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. So we can keep going back and back, and we might get into that a little bit more later, but for right now, this is the basic process. don't forget, I am thinking right now. You're just along to watch, so this is not going to be a very pretty video. Just hang in there with me. So the idea is that each of these things should, with an increase in any of these things, we should also increase this. Now, this is basically called a sales funnel, what we're drawing out here, some sort of a sales funnel. And what's going to happen in any funnel is you're always going to lose people out of each step. And the good thing about a funnel is you can, if you're tracking everything, you can see which step you're losing people on, and you can start to patch those holes. So the good thing about Facebook ads is you don't just need to use them to send traffic to your website. You can send traffic to any step in the funnel that ultimately leads to here. It would be kind of hard to send people directly to booking. You may be able to send people directly to a consult if you were, I mean, you could. It's not what I'm going to advise here, but definitely we can send people directly to a contact form, or we could have people directly inquire from the Facebook ad. Those are some possibilities. I don't know how this is going to go. But what I'm thinking is probably I'm going to want to have some sort of landing page specifically tailored to these ads that includes a contact form. Now, if this sounds complicated to you, don't worry, it's not. Especially if you're using WordPress, if you're using ProPhoto theme, even better. I'm going to go through all those things in some actual videos where I'm typing and you're seeing my screen. So don't worry about it if it sounds like it's going to be complicated. It's not. I'm going to go through every step. So what I'm thinking is, how do I get more people to fill out my contact form? Because if I can do that, let's use a better color. Then ultimately, that's going to increase my bottom line. So let's think about what type of Facebook ads I might want to run. Probably going to want to run a page promotion ad. This is basically just going to get likes up, because if I have a bigger audience, it's easier to reach those people with other promotions. This will probably have a somewhat small budget. It's not going to be my primary focus right now. We'll talk about budget in a minute. Probably going to run some clicks to website ads, CTW, clicks to website. That's probably going to be my biggest focus, because the clicks to website are going to be directly to the landing page that is going to have a contact form. And I may try to do some video ad. I'm not sure yet. What else? Maybe a page post engagement. It depends on what kind of ads I come up with. Page post engagement is just basically getting more likes, comments, and shares on a specific post. This is essentially what happens whenever you boost a post, but we're going to get into the more advanced way of doing it through Power Editor. I guess that could also be a post that has a link or a special which drives them to here. pretty much everything. Well, this doesn't. This will probably drive them to here too. The video would probably be something like, it could be just as simple as me talking, saying, hey, I'm really excited that I'm going to offer this special to you. Or, hey, you might be looking at photographers right now, and I want to tell you 3 reasons why I'm the right photographer for you. Something like that. And that could be something that people are more interested in viewing. Maybe I have a client who can do a testimonial. I could Skype interview them, ask them a few questions, do a 5-minute interview, and put that up. Those types of things could be very effective Facebook ads. So just brainstorming right now. Actually, I'm going to write some of that down. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this. And now I can erase it. I'll make sure that all these pictures are included on the website, on the blog post. All right, let's talk about budget for a minute. So currently my starting price, my typical starting price on weddings is about $3,900. I say on my website that it's $2,700. Okay, so $3,900 is my starting package price. $2,700 is my starting coverage price, which pretty much no one ever does. But that's the amount that I have to make for it to be worth me booking a date. It's $2,700. Not going to talk about pricing right now, but that's what I've come up with. I'll be happy if I go to a wedding and I get $2,700. So that's kind of my bottom line. Let's go ahead and write that down. What's the least that I would be happy with? And also I'm going to write down $3,900. That's my typical price. So there's a couple of different types of things that I'm thinking about doing here. One of them is to try to fill some dates that I don't have booked, especially in the slow season that's coming up. So January and February, pretty good starting from March on, but if I could put a couple more in January and February, that could be very significant in my business because I don't have very many weddings during that time right now. In fact, I don't have any in January and February for 2015. So I may use these ads, some ads, to specifically try to fill those dates, and I may offer a special price on those dates. I don't like to do a lot of discounts or specials. I mean, sometimes, but it's just not my style really, especially because I'm in this price range. It's tough whenever, someone books me at this price and then I put an offer on Facebook for someone else to be able to book me at $500 less. The person who booked me at this price is going to be like, wait, what the heck? Why didn't I get that special? And I don't like that kind of stuff going on. If they know that it's very clearly only for January and February, I'm a little bit better with that. So that might be something that I do. And I may offer some type of incentive for booking during a certain time window. I think people would be okay. If I did 10% off or something, $390 off it's a big savings to someone, but it's not enough to make other people like really angry that they didn't get that kind of savings. I think also I would be prepared if I did get any backlash from those clients, which I really doubt would ever happen, to offer them some sort of upgrade or whatever. But I want to make sure that all of my clients feel like they're getting the full value. Maybe instead of offering a discount at all, I offer something like a free engagement book, like a signature book or something for someone who books during this promotion that I'm doing. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet, but those are some ideas. And here's a big point that I want to talk about. A lot of times people try Facebook ads for $5, $10, maybe they spend $50, and it doesn't really work too well, and they give up. Well, one thing I wanted to talk about with this budget is how much can I spend for this to still be successful? As an established business where I'm already getting pretty much all of the weddings that I need to book, I want my advertising cost to be as little as possible. And right now I don't really need this at all, so it's hard for me to say, but a good benchmark is 7 to 10% of the total income is the amount that you could spend on advertising. So in this case, we could spend $390 to book a wedding at $3,900. And what that's saying is if you haven't spent $390 in Facebook ads, you don't know if they work yet. Because you could spend $380 and not book a single wedding, and then that last $10 is the one where you book this wedding. So you really need to spend your full amount for to be sure whether or not it's working. And what I would suggest is that if you're starting out and you're really needing to book more weddings right now, that you increase this number even more. 10% is, that's for an established business, but I know when I was first starting out and I really needed the business and I needed to get my name out, I needed to get portfolio work, I needed to connect with other vendors, I needed to get out in the community and get referrals and all this kind of stuff. I was willing to work for a lot less, and so what you might do is you could increase this to as much as 50%. You could say I'm willing to spend 50% of this number to get one wedding. That's really, really aggressive, but I'm going to take this up to 20%. So we are going to have, that will make that 700, I'm sorry. You know how it is whenever you're trying to do math on the spot and it just doesn't work out? Would that be 780? Hope that's right, because otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot. I promise you I'm not bad at math, but in other words, I can spend up to $780 on this experiment if I book one $3,900 wedding. Or 270, that's going to be 540. I could spend $540 on this experiment and book one $2,700 wedding. Or whatever it ends up being. If I spend 20%, I'm going to call this a success. I would much prefer to be spending these numbers, 7 to 10%. But this whole thing is assuming that you need the business from Facebook ads. And if you really need it, then spending 20% is not the worst thing that could happen. Not to mention you could raise your prices to compensate for the amount that you're having to spend. All right, so that's going to give us an idea of what the budget's going to be. It's a lot of money for Facebook ads. So this is why I'm very sure that this is going to work. All right, what else do we think about? So I'm thinking, if I can get any January and February weddings at this price, maybe let's just call it $3,000. That would be really good. So I need to think about what type of promotion I can run to get people to book me. And it's middle of December right now. So January and February weddings who book me right now, that's pretty last minute. So that's going to be tough. That may not work at all. I'm not sure. But I'm certainly going to try it. For this, I need to think about what can I say that convinces a bride that I am the best choice for them, make them fall in love with my work, and they need to realize that they didn't know about me before, but now that they know about me, they can't stop thinking about the fact that they want to book me for their wedding. That's what this ad needs to convey. So, let's see here. So one ad type that I didn't mention earlier is retargeting. This is probably going to be another big one. Can't believe I didn't think about it earlier. So what we're going to do here is whenever someone comes to this landing page on my website, I'm going to serve a special ad to them on Facebook that says if they don't complete the process and fill out the form, I'm going to say, hey, why didn't you fill out the form? Something along those lines. I don't want to make it sound creepy like I'm tracking them, although I am. So I'll think about that, but definitely retargeting is going to be big. All right, so for right now, I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to take another picture of this, and I'm going to come back to the board in a little bit. I need to take a break.